Chrysalis Steiner School is located in a pristine Thora Valley outside of the township of Bellingen. It's a small rural school from K to 8 with about 160 children that attend. It provides a nurturing environment surrounded by beautiful rainforests, a wandering, meandering river, and provides all the aspects of an experiential learning place for our children. The middle years at Chrysalis is when the students enter class 6 to year 8. And the guiding motif for this time is truth. The focus shifts between the critical analysis and independent judgment into self-directed tasks. So we actually really work strongly with this within our curriculum, within our experiential learning aspects within the curriculum, and we bring this in many ways to our students in those middle school years. They have a greater awareness in relation to their strengths and their weaknesses, their interests and their goals. Researchers have found that 2 weeks we can remember 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 50% of what we discuss, and 90% of what we experience. This is one of the most persuasive arguments for experiential, project-based learning, and that's why it works in a Steiner school, and this is where our true focus is. Chrysalis Steiner School came into being 30 years ago, and from that there was an impulse from the initial teachers because of where its location was out in the valley to work within nature. They had to work within nature with the first classroom, so the class camps became a major part of the experiential learning process. Chrysalis school camps for the class 7 and 8 student are in specific natural setting places that meet the developmental needs of the students and the different age groups, as indicated by Rudolf Steiner.
Oh, the camp program's fantastic. The beautiful thing that's about the camps is the children actually have this experience of bonding together on a different level, from out sitting at their desks every day, doing their schoolwork. They're building up their social skills. They're working together in groups to take responsibility for the whole camp group, having to help with the preparation of food, with the washing up, making sure that the campsite's kept clean, that the fire is kept going, and they're allowed to get a little bit dirty. Most of the kids really enjoy that, and if they have difficulties with it in the first day or two, by the third day they're well and truly allowing themselves to get all rubby. But it's just great to see the kids relaxing and enjoying nature, and that's also why we have bush camps, allowing the children to experience a relationship with the natural world, to see its beauty, its awe, its wonder, and to really be in touch with it so that they can grow to love and respect the earth.
The middle school we go from class 6, and that's the first most exciting camp for the students, which is the snow camp, and we go away for somewhere between 8 and 10 days. Half of that time is actually skiing, and the rest of the time is in camp. We're doing the civics exploration of Parliament House and the War Memorial. But of course the skiing is the most fantastic part for the students. They really get to stretch their physical abilities, their sense of independence, and that longevity away from their family is the first step.
These camps intend to intervene in the students' lives by changing them in some way, by improving them.
The first few weeks of class 7, they do what I think it's called a survival camp. One of the really exciting parts of that embroider camp is the abseil event, where the students have to do a 42-metre abseil. They have a few practices first on smaller drops, and then there's the big drop, which is quite exhilarating. In year 8 they have one of the most incredible experiences, I think, of their lifetime. when they go with a really wonderful teacher, Kim Pittman, and she takes the students on a real survival camp. They have to go for 8 days into the wilderness of the Guy Fawkes National Park. They have to take all their food with them, and they have to share the food out amongst all the number of students, and they have to descend into the valley, and they follow the meandering river to its end. As a teacher, watching them walk off down the track with Kim, they all have their walking boots on, these enormous backpacks that are towering up over their heads. They've got so much excitement in their hearts as they head off down the track, waving them goodbye, and they leave as students, and I think they come back as young adults.
It's hoped that the students will be different in some small way, and that they're affected by the experience that they've had.
I've been on all the camps and the experience has been fantastic. You know, it's another insight to see, one, how my child works within the class, and then also how the class works together, and just to see them all together in an environment outside the school. And for me personally, it's also about understanding more about the Chrysalis education. I feel each camp that I get just as much as the kids get out of that.
Lead your child out into nature. Teach him on the hilltops and in the valleys. There he will listen better, and the sense of freedom will give him more strength to overcome difficulties. But in these hours of freedom, let him be taught by nature rather than by you. Let him fully realize that she is the real teacher, and that you, with your art, do nothing more than walk quietly at her side.
Class 7, the students embark on a medieval main lesson. They do the stories of King Arthur. These are wonderful fables that encourage chivalry and honour, and this is a really important thing that we would like to encourage the students to strive towards as they progress through their adolescence.
There's always that one of honesty and truth and justice that prevail. How can we say, or how can we prove our honesty?
So as part of the medieval main lesson, the students may do a play. It could be on the Knights of the Round Table or Tristan and Isolde, and we support those dramatic activities with medieval music that the students can play and medieval dances, so that it's a really all-encompassing experience for them to actually step back into that time of chivalry and honour.
In class 7 and 8, there is a focus on geometry. The two main lessons that we do focus on in nature and maths concurrently. In class 7 it's called Forms in Nature. We're looking at the Fibonacci number system. We're looking at a lot of creative and artistic drawings out of nature. In class 8 they look at the Platonic solids, the 5 shapes, making nets and working with them structurally as well as inwardly. Throughout the Steiner curriculum, we are always working with the imagination and creatively preparing the students inwardly and outwardly in their skills in drawing and color and presentation. That doesn't stop in the middle years. That continues to be strengthened and worked with each student as they go on in their years. The students are totally involved and committed to the drawing and the building of these forms. It has a deep meaning for these students at this age. There's something that they connect with. It is not a conscious thing, but there is a connection that they feel within their being. Why do we keep seeing the beauty in everything that we do in our curriculum, even when it's in maths? In the Platonic solids, there is a beauty and truth that lies in the mass itself, and from that, the inspiration and creativity that comes from that is seen with the students by doing it and presenting it in a creative and imaginative way.
So my class had just come back from their Guy Fawkes walk, which was quite a, grounding experience for them. They were, you're out there, you're trekking, experiencing lots of things anyway. So I found this lesson amazing for them to come back straight into. I'm doing Platonic solids. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's just amazing how it's just engaged them from day one. We did this really beautiful yet tricky drawing, and they were just there. I've even heard them saying like this, they're just really loving it. Like, this is so cool to be able to draw these pictures. And when they see that they've come out with this final product, it's just such a great feeling when your points meet up and oftentimes it's not like everyone's has just turned out perfectly, but when they do hit it, it just, they just have such a sense of achievement. And beauty, it's just beautiful.
So no, hey.
During the course of the Year 8 students are asked to prepare an independent learning project for presentation to the school community. This project is traditional in many Steiner schools worldwide and involves many facets of learning appropriate for this age. Students are encouraged to venture into a new area of discovery or take something they already are interested in and investigate it in greater detail. The project involves working with a mentor. The mentor is a resource person that has a great deal of experience in the field in which the student is interested in. It is scary for Class 8 students usually to work with mentors out in the community. It's always that introduction to somebody new. It's not their teacher, it's not their parent. Stepping out into the world, it's that transition of how do I actually ask for something that I'm interested in, how do I actually work with that out there in the community, how do I actually reach out. They can choose anything they like, within reason obviously. There is a safety thing from the school's point of view that we do look at. But otherwise, it is really an open slather so that they can actually, if they have something that they really want to develop and real interest, they can do that.
My name is Ellie Ross, and my project was Roller Derby 101.
101 of roller derby.
Here's the roller derby track. The blockers line up behind the first line, and the jammers with the star on their helmets line up behind the second line. They're our point scorers. Off go the blockers, off go the jammers. They fight their way through the initial pass, and the yellow star is the lead jammer.
It's an aggressive sport.
Well, my name is Jasper Manchild Lopez, and I did my Year 8 project on a stop motion clay animation. In the overall thing, it was definitely enjoyable, and I loved the whole idea of it and just to have that freedom of choosing whatever you wanted. I think there are some hard parts, just with finding a mentor is really hard, and then just little things like that. There's like in the project, the overall thing is really enjoyable, but there are some little, there's bits that you have to go through and bits that you have to, overcome.
On a nice sunny day, Bird Boy was sitting down, waiting for his friend, the frog. After some time, he realized something was wrong.
I need somebody.
Bird Boy traveled for days and nights looking for his friends.
Hey fatty, give me back the frog. I know you're floss feeding and blaggers.
No.
I don't take no for an answer.
Then we're gonna have to fight about it.
Conquest. He was out to make a conquest of the prize. Conquest. Now you know the conquest.
McFaddy spent his days in jail, only eating salads. And as for Bird Boy and the Frog, they had a great day at the park and then spent their lives happily ever after.
It was very different being a mentor to a Year 8 student to being a parent of a Year 8 student, there was a great deal of pleasure in being a mentor. We met every week. Aidan and I were making a film, and every Saturday we met at 11 o'clock. We spent a couple of hours together. I found it enormously pleasurable, and one of the best things about being a mentor was to have a relationship with an adolescent that wasn't in conflict for once.
I like that it's such a free school and it's different, and it's just so much different than all the other schools, and a lot individual, and yeah, it's really nice. Nice people as well.
That they give you heaps of freedom. You just seem to get to do more stuff, like we can climb trees and stuff like that.
Of course, I enjoy the working with the students and watching them grow and develop over the years and become amazing individuals.
You know, even simple things as being able to light a candle in a classroom and to see the resonance of that happen, those little things I've really valued.
I love Steiner's approach to the consciousness development of the child and how the curriculum changes and grows with that, and how the teacher has to keep building on their knowledge and researching their main lesson and trying to make creative and wonderful and exciting.
I sometimes think that when we send our children to school, we're giving them the education that we might have liked ourselves. But the truth at Chrysalis is that there's an opportunity to educate yourself as well. That you can go on the journey with your children from Year 1 right through, and if you wish to, you can step into that world. You can learn a whole bunch of stuff that you never thought you needed to know. You can learn about Steiner, you can learn from the teachers. It's a lifelong education program.
I love the relationship that I have with my colleagues. I like working on college where teachers, try to work on a deeper level and understanding the spiritual nature of human beings, and especially the children that we're working with, and how we can help build and grow and protect and nurture the school.